so I try not to be around other people when they're interviewing because I will bleed into their interviews. I've been called out at other things, like I cover like horror movie conventions and things like Wizard World and stuff like that.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I've had people across the room come over and say, "Excuse me, can you please be quiet? I'm trying to interview this person over here. Thank you," and just walk away. And I'm like, "Oh, sorry." Okay, will you hold this for me? Because actually, this is going to be a little bit more off the script. So.
I like off the script.
Yes.
I'm so tired of all that.
This is Travis with Vavel and Submissions and Slashers, and I am speaking with the head lady in charge, Shannon Knapp. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate this. I know you're kind of winding down your evening and everything, but overall, how did you enjoy the evening, and how do you think the crowd reacted to the Invicta fights here in Houston?
I think the show was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that every fight on that card was really extremely good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they certainly delivered. I think every time that we go into a new market, we deal with that. You know, everybody wonders what's an all-female card like.
Right.
So, but I think the best part about us is when we leave that market, everybody's talking about what a great card it is.
Right.
And then the next time you go back, it gets better and better. So, you know, it's the same thing with women in the sport.
Right.
You know, we're still proving ourselves, still
Mm-hmm.
taking those risks. Every time we do something, we surprise people.
Right.
I think it's a great thing.
We had a nice little surprise tonight with the new champion being crowned. Not a lot of people saw that, but I mean, Erica put on an amazing performance, and I mean, she showed myself and a lot of other people tonight that she is definitely someone to deal with here. One of the things that I would have to say, and I would love to get your interpretation on this, is her beating Michelle Waterson tonight possibly one of the best things that could happen for your organization.
Could it be the best thing that happened? I mean, from what?
From the perspective of,
You know,
if
there's many
Michelle would have,
perspectives.
well, okay, here's where I'm going with this. If Michelle would have ran through her tonight and say just took her out in the first round or something like that, wouldn't it have been kind of difficult for people to imagine the 105
What
division
comes after that?
and who she's going to
Is
be
that what
fighting?
you're trying to
Exactly.
say?
Yeah, isn't it
No,
kind of
you know,
nice having another person?
No, it's always. I think it's always nice when you can present challenges
Right.
to a champion. But were there other people in line? Yeah, you got Hamasaki coming up through the ranks. You know, she's sliding down. I think that I knew this was going to be an extremely competitive fight. I mean, if I had to bank on anyone, I banked on
Right.
Erica, and I'll
Right.
tell you why.
Why is that?
Erica beat, or she didn't beat, but she went the distance with Claudia Gadelha
Right.
in Brazil.
Right.
In Brazil.
Right.
Okay. You know, I knew this kid was coming in with more than what people. I even said it in interviews. I said, "You don't know who this kid is. Trust me, don't count her out." You know, I mean.
Tell me a little bit
And
more
she
about her
wants it.
personality too, because she
Oh,
seems
she
like
is-
she has an amazing. I mean,
she is
I've
the-
seen YouTube videos of her like dancing for 2 minutes before she came out to fight.
No, I think that any time that you work with an athlete and you see an athlete that really wants it, you know, and she wanted it. I mean, she came into the office and she was like, mine, pointing the belt. I think you just feel it. You feel that energy. You feel that commitment. And I definitely knew she was hungry for it. She
Right.
was coming to get it. I mean, Michelle was going to have to stop her
Right.
before she was going to stop. And, you know, I think when you have an athlete that's motivated like that, I think that they are definitely a deadly, deadly obstacle to face.
Now, with a person like Erica, and then also like Alexa Grasso, who we just talked to not too long ago,
She's amazing, too.
You have been able to constantly create these international stars in women's mixed martial arts, but in the same sense, it's not always translating to the mixed martial arts fan base here in the States. How can we turn these ladies into the international stars that they obviously have the potential
Well,
to
I
be?
think the thing is going into it, people don't look at them as stars.
Okay.
But I think after they compete, I mean, tonight, Erica Teresa just became a star.
Right.
Do you think people are going to forget her tomorrow?
Oh,
No,
no.
she made a mark.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we deal with every time that you get this unknown athlete that comes in and they compete on this stage. You know, the one good thing that Invicta has is we don't have a female fight sprinkled around in a male-dominated.
Right.
We have the ability and the capability of building stars right out the gate.
Right.
Because, you know, I mean, if you're good, you're going to shine because this is your platform. So I think that that's what we're good at, and I think that's how we're able to make stars and do it quickly.
Okay. One of the things that I always tell people about Invicta is you guys technically don't have a prelim. Like, it's
No,
the
we all
main
go.
card.
We
Like,
go.
the entire card is the main card.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you're at on that card. You're not the undercard because
Okay.
everybody gets that play.
Do you guys have anything going on the outside that's going to help kind of put some of these girls who have been on the roster here for a while that are stars in the eyes of Invicta fans, but maybe need to be a little bit more mainstream?
Well, I think it's coming. I think that relationship and the partnership that we have with the UFC, I think that's building, and helping us every day. If you think about it, these athletes, these female athletes, are competing on the same platform that top tier UFC talented athletes, male athletes, female athletes are competing on. So yeah, fans are tuning in to watch that. Fans are going to take the moment to take a look and see what's all the noise about Invicta. We trend. We never do a show that we don't trend.
Correct.
Top 10, worldwide. I think that says something. Tonight it was UFC 81, Invicta FC 10. I think we're going to get there, but I think with everything, it always takes time.
Well, is there anything that, like, you, per se, are telling the girls, like you and Julie are telling the girls, some things that they can do to kind of put the spotlight on themselves a little bit more?
Stay active, promote, and teaching them how to be active on social media.
Well, how hard is that, though, when you're dealing with fighters who are just like, I ain't got time to
No. See, that's the funny thing. I used to have that with men. I don't have that with women.
Yeah, women.
I think
It's
women
one of the
are
reasons
social.
why we cover the women.
Yeah, I think women are social.
Right.
I think that they know how to work it. I think that it's fun for them. I don't think they look at it like a job.
Okay.
And I think that is the difference.
Well, one of the last things that I'm going to ask you, because I'm not about to pester you about this date, this location, who's on this card. I'm just going to wait, because there's no reason to. I just wait for Eric to send me the email, okay? But one thing that I am curious to know as a person who's running a promotion, especially with your ties to the UFC, what do you think about this uniform policy? I mean, I don't care about what you feel about, like, the Reebok deal. I'm not talking about just the deal. I'm talking about more in regards to, like, how it could impact fighters, how it could also impact lower tier organizations and things like that. Tell me your thoughts.
I think that the uniform idea, we'll see how it all plays out. But right now, I think it's a huge step forward in the sport. I think that it helps with distribution of money in the sport and equality, especially for the athletes that, when people have money to invest, they're going for that top tier.
Right.
I think this is going to even things out, and I think it's really going to help individual athletes.
Well, one of the things that I was curious about is, but what about that one fighter who is, like, on the cusp? And say, like, maybe they are fighting for Invicta or RFA or one of these other organizations, and they have a fight left or possibly 2 fights left before they get the call up to the big stage. Do you think that they may have possibilities of having issues getting sponsorship for those fights, knowing that that sponsor may only get that person for that one fight, that's it, then they go to the UFC, they're under Reebok so long?
No, I think it opens up opportunities for us other promotions, honestly.
Okay.
Where's everybody else going to go?
Right. Yeah. They should all filter down to everybody else. I'm just
Right.
always wondering if.
Well,
Okay.
I think we can wonder all day long, but I think at the end of the day, what we're going to look to see is how this does affect the sport.
Right.
And I think that I have faith and trust in my partners. I think that they are the innovators, not the imitators in this sport.
That's
I
correct.
think that I will rely on the fact that what they're saying is this is a game changer. It makes a difference. It's going to create a better system that's more fair.
Okay.
So we'll see. In the end, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Everything's always
Yep.
let's see what happens.
Okay. Well, Shannon, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Had an
you.
amazing time
Thank
as
you.
always, and we'll see you at the next
No
card.
problem.
All right. You
Bye.
enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you
Okay.
much.
Thank you.